and it's really special. Okay, so without further ado, please welcome Mr. Paul Dunstan.
Thank you, Phil.
Thank you.
How is everyone? Nice lunch. This is traditionally called the graveyard slot. This is the after lunch when the food's just got to you. You've had a day and a bit. You're beginning to kind of drift off. So I've been put here to try and wake you up. That's perfect. You can turn the lights out at the same time. Excellent. Right, we're going to try something, okay? And I'm going to demonstrate for you something called randomness. Okay, randomness. And we're going to show you how things function if something is just random. So you have to pay attention because I'm going to get you all to join in. Okay? We've got a whole number of people. How many are there here today? 2, 3, 4, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. About 21 of you. Okay. What I want to do is to see which number we can get to, okay, if people just randomly call out the next number. So if you imagine I said 1, and then you just went,
5.
No, the next. Right, 1.
2.
Someone say 3?
4.
Okay. What needs to happen then is that only one person speaks at a time. So if we actually speak at the same time, we have to go back to the beginning. So think carefully, pause, and then go for it. Confident, next number. And if you speak at the same time as somebody else, we have to start again. But let's see how high we get. I always start. You ready? 1.
2. 3.
4.
5.
6. 7.
Oh, so we got to 7. Well done. That's pretty good. Let's try again, okay? And 1.
2.
3. 4.
5.
6. 7.
8.
8. Better, better. Right, let's try again. 1.
2. 3.
4.
3 that time. Let's go one more. One more go. And then I'm going to change the rules. One more go. 1.
2.
3.
4.
5.
6.
7. 8. 9.
Ah, very good. 9. That's not bad, is it? Bear in mind, that is totally random. Any one of you could speak at any time. You got to 9. Do you see that? Right, let's see if we can change it, okay? This time, you can go back the other way if you want. So that would make it really tricky, of course, but we're going to go 1, 2, 3, all the way up. And if somebody wants to, they can say the one before. So if we get 5, for example, someone can say 4. And we're going to see how long, not how high we get, but how long we can keep going before we get 2 people speaking at the same time. Do you understand the rules? So it's not about how high you get, it's about how long we can keep going. 1.
2.
Ah, rubbish. See, I've just freaked you out. Let's try another one. Ready? 1.
2.
Ah. Try again. 1.
2. 3.
4.
3.
2. 1.
Ah, right. So we went up, we went back down again. Let's try again. 1.
1. 2.
3. 4. 3.
Oh, pretty good. So we're going up, we're going down. Now, I'm just going to show you something. You see this line here starting with you? And it runs all the way to you at the end. And then it goes back 1. Comes along that way to you. Back 1. All the way along to you. Back 1. And all the way along the back row there. Okay? You have to stay in order now. I want to show you what happens. You stay in order, and we're just going up in numbers. Starting. 1.
2.
3.
4. 5.
6.
7. 8. 9.
10. 11.
12. 14.
14.
15. 16.
17.
18.
19.
20.
21.
22.
23.
Perfect. Do you see that? We got all the way to 23. Someone tell me what was the difference between what was happening before? Randomness. I've even spelled it wrong. Randomness. What was happening between that and that? Why was it so much easier on the second time?
You knew what was happening.
You knew what was happening. Tell me all the things you knew.
The sequence. Order of play.
Sequence, order of play. Anything else you knew?
So the number in advance.
You knew the number in advance, didn't you? Yeah. You knew where it was coming. You knew where it was going. You knew when it was your turn, etc., etc. I'm going to come back to that a little bit later on. You'll see why. Okay. So just hold all that in your mind. It's really important. Who am I? I'm Paul Dunstan. You've heard that. I'm married. I'm a father of 3. I have a 13-year-old. I have a 12-year-old, and I have a 6-year-old. And I'm a schoolmaster in a boarding school. So I am a teacher. This is me teaching in my classroom here. I only teach about 10 lessons a week now because I spend most of my time involved with management of this school and a number of other schools. But I'm involved with all their marketing and business. How did I get into that rather than just teaching? Well, it's because, a bit like the other Paul that you've already heard, I got kind of excited and interested in marketing and business. And I met someone called Paul Lynch, and that was the end of it, really. I got excited about all of this and the opportunity to take control and have choices. See, when you're just working for someone else, I'm sure you're aware of this, your whole kind of life, really, you're just trading your time for money, and really, it's what they ask you to do, and then you get paid for it, and that's it. And sometimes if you're something like teaching, which I love, by the way, that if you're in teaching, it doesn't matter how much time you give, you still only get the same amount of money. So I was interested in trying to make use of my skill set, my time, and other areas that I had that I could then take some control and get some more money on the side. And as you're aware, with Teachers' Holidays, that is possible. I do need the rest, but I also am able to take advantage of that. And I can live another life in the holidays. And that's kind of what I do. And I do a little bit on the side as well. So what I did, having met Paul, I met Paul a few years ago. And by the way, I know he's spoken about some of his systems. I am a full franchise member myself. In the time of using that franchise, he hasn't asked me to tell you this, but I'm going to tell you anyway. I've done about $105,000 worth of sales in that time, okay, using the franchise. So the system does work. And most of that, by the way, because of the way that we do all the targeting and things, is profit for me. So it's been pretty good. And he didn't ask me to tell you that. It's just the way it is. So I'm here for this purpose, but the franchise does work as well, as do the other systems. So here I am. I teach people things. So I decided, what can I do to teach myself something that will give me even more choice? Okay, enable me to really take control of my own time and just be in charge of what I want to do. And I'm a firm believer in this, that in life, the only thing that people can't take away from you really is the skill sets that you develop. Okay, you don't want to be relying on some platform or some other kind of thing. If you've got it in here and you've practiced it, no one can take that away from you if you know what you're doing. So I wanted to find a skill set that played to my advantage in some way that would enable me then to make money on demand. And I did a lot of kind of research into that. I was already being paid as a teacher and I was enjoying some of the income from Paul's systems, but I wanted something else that I could use on demand. And I wanted something that didn't eat up more time, because time is the one thing you can't create more of. Okay, I didn't want my income to be relying on how much time I had. I already worked very long hours. So I wanted to find something that would enable me to maximize the income in a minimal amount of time after I had developed a skill set. I worked hard. I was perfectly prepared to develop a skill set. Okay? I discovered this. In business ventures, online, offline, anything like this, people usually fail for the two reasons. One is lack of time, and one is lack of cash flow. Lack of time, that is a problem. Okay, you become inefficient if you're working in the middle of the night and things like that. So it is a problem. And especially as a lot of new business ventures take a lot of time. When you're trying to get something started alongside something else, people struggle to make progress. So they fail. And also lack of cash flow, because a lot of business ventures have a huge, huge, huge startup cost. A standard franchise, something like a McDonald's franchise, which is a kind of proven model as we know, is going to cost you something like £250,000 to run a small McDonald's franchise. And we all know the system works, But most people haven't got £250,000 to start that alongside something else. Okay, so lack of cash flow. We've already talked about things like advertising and stuff like that. A lot of people, they get themselves into a system that they just about manage, and then they can't afford to advertise, even if they have got all the time in the world. You understand that? So these things together often cause people to fail. I'm going to talk to you briefly now about this. Has anybody read Rich Dad, Poor Dad? A few of you, yeah? It's a great book. Followed up by the cash flow quadrant and then his guide to investing. Okay? I'm just going to talk you through how this works. This is the cash flow quadrant, because cash flow is a major problem, and of course this is interlinked with time, as I've said. Most people are here. You can see 60% of people who are of working age are employees. They simply work for somebody else. What they're actually doing then is they are trading their time and their efforts for an income, which means, of course, that if they don't work, what happens? They don't get paid. Very simple. That's the standard model out in the workforce. If you don't work, you don't get paid. Seems fair, okay? And that's where 60% of the people are. The problem is the only way actually to increase your income if you're an employee is to take on more responsibility, which takes more time. Which means, as you know, because we all have the same 24 hours in any day, you've immediately got a ceiling on your income because you simply don't have any more time that you can give, all right? That's where most people are, okay? So they get fed up with that and they move to this side. They become self-employed. They say, I don't want to work all hours every day working for somebody else. I can do this myself, okay? I'll take this on myself. And they create their own business. And with all of that goes all the other headaches of, you know, payroll and everything else if they're employing other people, doing all the tax returns and the business tax returns and all these sorts of things. And they struggle with all of that. And they still discover that if they don't work, they don't get paid. And they now seem to have less time than they had before. This is the self-employed dream. It's a really interesting one. The self-employed dream. People think if I just do it myself, I'll be better off. The facts of the matter, I'm looking at Mr. Tony here at the back. The average employee income in the UK is, sir?
26 grand.
26,000. This may shock you. The average income of a self-employed person in the UK is 12. It's a myth that you'll do better on your own. Okay? That's why people do this. Their business fails, so they become an employee again. You see that? That's the cycle, backwards and forwards between these two things. Multiple failed businesses. Of course, some people earn a lot of money as an employee. You only need to look at employees of banks and things, the senior executives in these sorts of businesses. They're still employed, but they're earning a huge amount of money. And likewise, some self-employed people have managed to carve it out and get it right, and they are earning a lot of money. But 5% of this entire side of the quadrant have all the money. 95% don't. That's how it works. That's the reality. This side of the quadrant were tiny amounts of money. 4% are business owners. Now that's a difference from being a self-employed person and a business owner. Because a business owner owns systems that make them money. They may well have a load of employees who help run those systems as well. But it's not that they're trading their time for the money. You see that? They've created a business which does the work for them. And as I said, they may have employees and others, but this is a different model from the basic self-employed thing. You're not trading your time anymore. You put the time initially into the business, and then the business does the work. That's what you get here with my.com business, with the e-com systems. Think about it, you're putting your time in, setting it up, and then the e-com system does the work. It's a business system. Likewise with the franchise. You set it all up, you do a bit of advertising. Eventually you can switch off the advertising, as you know, and it works for itself. It's a business you've bought. Likewise also with the Facebook method. Once that viral snowball goes and it's all set up, it now pumps money for you. That's why we call it the money pump. All right, those are business owners. So by joining any of those, you're moving into the 4% with the opportunity to have the business system doing the work for you. A shift across. The bottom right, which is what I'm here to talk about. Okay, the bottom right is the investor. Only 1% of the population, that's in the US and the UK, only 1% are investors. A few people have a small savings account. That's not investing. They put a bit of money away for a rainy day. But what happens with rainy day money? It gets used, doesn't it? Because we have quite a lot of rainy days. So your rainy day money goes up and disappears, and then it goes up and disappears. So it's a savings account that's useful and gets used. It's not actually doing you anything to grow your income. Investing, on the other hand, does, which we'll talk about and show you how we can make a difference. But please notice here, on this side, 95% of the people that are on this side get the money. Only 5% don't. Okay? That's a staggering statistic. That simply by moving across to this side, you increase your chances of getting the income that you want. Staggering, but true. You can go and do all the research and you'll find that the business system owners earn the money. And those that do the serious investing also earn the money. So it's fairly obvious then that the most powerful quadrants of those are on the right. And I'm a big believer in what are called multiple streams of income. Okay? And you should see that from Paul Lynch himself. Multiple streams of income. He's not doing one of the things he's shown you. He's involved in all of these areas. So you can be a business owner and an investor, which gives you extra chance then of getting it right. And with me and with Paul Strickland, we remain employees as well on the other side, just to give us that additional security. Okay, teachers' pension and things like that is also very useful just on the back end of it. So I've ticking several of the boxes there. But that's what we do. We're aiming for the right-hand side of the market. A lot of people get a lot of money. They win the lottery or something like that. And then they just lose it all again. They can't hold on to their money. It just evaporates. We have what's called a set point, an internal set point. Okay? And it's as though there's a certain level of income that we're comfortable with. And if we start going above that, we just spend it all on trinkets and things that we don't need to bring ourselves back down to where we're used to. In the same way, if someone who's used to a high level of income, things go wrong and they lose it all, they very, very quickly have built up to where they were again. They just seem to have success all over again. It's because of the mindset that they have of being at this particular level. So that should tell you that if you want to be successful on the right-hand side of the quadrant, you have to get your mindset right to be ready to be earning that kind of high level of income. And the more that you do that and get yourself ready for this, the more likely you are for it to work for you. Investing has a couple of advantages. When you invest, that money grows more money. It doesn't just sit there and get used up. It grows more money, which gives you money that you can invest further and also that you can stick into your business systems when you're starting them out. Remember I said that once they're up and running and rolling, they start to work for themselves? But you need that cash flow, don't you? The investing money can actually generate the cash flow, which you can then invest in your business system, which then generates money that you can put back into the investment. You see that? That's why most of the people on the right-hand side of the quadrant, if they're business owners and then they invest, those two grow together exponentially. We're talking about people like Richard Branson and others. He owns multiple business systems and is one of the most significant investors in the world. However, it's never that simple, is it? Oh, well, let's just invest then. Everyone should just invest. Most investments that are going to pay you require a huge startup capital. So we all know about things like property. Property will pay. You can get the rental income and you can get the capital gain. Yeah, so property will pay you. And if we all know that, why don't we just go and buy a nice property that's going to pay us a huge yield? Why don't we? Well, it's because it's quite expensive to buy one. We can all buy a cheap property somewhere that's not going to earn us anything, but we can't buy an expensive property in an area that's going to pay a high yield because the capital is too expensive, which means you can't get into that market. Or they require what's called huge leverage. So you don't have to pay the big capital up front. Instead, you pay a small amount and you leverage it up, rather like horse racing, so that it will pay back significantly more than you invested in the first place. But what do we know about things like horse racing? It's risky. Putting £1,000 on 1,000 to 1 outsider on the Grand National, the chances are high you've just waved goodbye to your £1,000. Okay, could you win? Yes, but the chances are you won't. The lottery is very high leverage. Okay, you only pay £1. Okay, and 14 million, that's mega leverage. 15 million, whatever, but it's also what 13.6 million to 1 that you're going to win anything at all. So poor choice. We can show you here today another option, a different option. You'll have heard of it, I'm sure, but let me talk you through it. It's the foreign exchange market. There are a load of things that when I started looking into this, I didn't really know about foreign exchange. I hear it on the news, you know, the dollar has gone up a certain number of points against the euro or something, and you know that, and I used to think, oh, has it? I don't really mean, you know, what does that mean particularly? I wasn't really aware of it. So, forgive me for treating you like idiots at this stage, but we're all at different levels on this. Some have a fair amount of knowledge, some nothing at all. Foreign exchange, we're trading one currency for another. In its simplest form, I'm about to go on holiday, so I take my pounds down to the bank and I say, I need £100 here, I need it in dollars, please. And they take it away, they take a bit of commission, and then they give me the number of dollars that is worth. And obviously, interest rates and things, they change up and down, and you never quite know how much it's going to be worth, all right? So some days you get this amount of dollars, and then you go on holiday and you come back, and now it's worth more. So when you change your money back, you think, I've made a bit of money on my money, just simply by the fact that I changed it into dollars, and then I changed it back again. Of course, I can do that. I don't even need to travel to the US on my holiday. I could just go down to the bank, buy some dollars, wait 2 days, and then change it back again if it's in my favor. I could do that. But that's a bit of a pain. As you can imagine now, we don't need to go into physical currencies anymore. Now I can do it all online. I can buy dollars, I can sell dollars. And there's another method. I don't even need to hold the dollars. I can actually just trade on the movement. Is it going up? Is it going down? And this is what we do. This is the largest and most liquid financial market in the world. The stock market, the US and the UK stock market put together, in fact, and the European stock market put together, all of it, is a tiny fraction, a tiny fraction of the foreign exchange market. We're talking about 3 billion traded every day on the stock market. This is $5.3 trillion. It's the equivalent of a kind of turning a tap on or standing by Niagara Falls. That's the difference. There's so much money is traded in foreign exchange. It's unbelievable how much money goes through this market. So we're not talking small amounts, and this is never going to dry up. Okay? You can trade on any smart device these days. You used to have at least $1 million to invest and access to the bank's computer systems that have the chart access. Now it's come down to the fact that there's apps that you can use that give you access to this market straight away. Just the average person. It's been sort of deregulated in that way that we can now do it. All you need is an internet connection. All right, you can do it from your home computer, you can do it from an iPad or whatever you like. It's open 24 hours a day, 5 days a week. Now, clearly, sometimes they're far more active than others, but it is active all that time. And I can tell you, and Dave, who I'll talk about in a minute, would corroborate this, at the weekend, I often think, when's it going to be Monday? Because I look forward to the markets opening again. Now, I never expected that I would be wishing away my weekends. Okay, it's really interesting. Flexible trade sizes, you don't have to, put a lot in, and you don't have to kind of trade a lot in each go. And you can start with a demo account. So it's play money, right? But it functions in exactly the same way as the rest of the market. So if you can make it in a demo account, if it was real, you would have done it in exactly the same way. There are no different conditions, nothing stacked in any other way. It's exactly the same. And this is what the banks are doing. This is what the insurance companies are doing, the hedge funds and all these things. This is how they're making their money in foreign exchange. Anybody heard of compound interest? Okay, I'm sure you have. I just want to talk to you a little about compound interest. Interest is an interesting thing. If I gave you £1,000, okay, and I said to you, I want you to I'm going to give you 10% interest, how much have I made? 100 quid. Okay, so giving you £1,000 and then 10% interest, you've got £100. Fantastic. That's not a huge amount though, is it? So it's not massively impressive getting £100 off that. But I just want to show you what could happen if we could achieve that 10% growth each month. So saying I've made £100 this month is not great. But let's have a look at what would happen if we do 10% each month. Okay, it's a nice little one. Assuming we're starting at the start of 2017, okay, it's fairly straightforward. So you've got a starting amount of £1,000 and it goes in month 1 and I just leave it there. But I have no interest at the moment. So it just stays £1,000 all the time. In real terms, of course, that money is disappearing because of inflation. All right, if you leave it the same, it's just disappearing. But let's imagine that I go for, let's say, a 5% return. Okay, 5% growth each month. So I start with that, and I've got my 5% growth. This is all in dollars. So I get 50 in the first month. And this builds up so that at the end of that first year, my take home would be a whopping, not really, 1,795, okay? So you'd think, no, that's not a huge amount, but that's with 5% per month. What do you get with your bank? 0.5% per year. Just bear that in mind. 5% a month, you get this much. That's why you don't get anything on your bank, because they're giving you about 0.5 to 1 per year, all right? But look, if I just roll on, at the end of 2018, that's become 3,000. 2019, 5,700. 2020, that's 10,000. If I scroll right the way down to 2022, that's turned into 33,000 in 6 years, just with a 5% growth. I want to show you the power of compound interest. Let's turn that 5% into 10%. At the end of year 1, we're now at 3,000, which is, a little bit better off 1 year. Let's just scroll down to the end of our 6th year. $955,000 with 10% per month. Compound interest is staggering. And the banks are doing it all the time. What are they giving you? Nothing. How can they pay such big bonuses? Because they're earning a huge amount of money on your money. All right? Your money is earning you nothing. They are earning a huge amount of money for the same thing. All right? They're keeping all of it, and you're not getting it. Let's have a bit of fun. This is £1,000 starting. Let's imagine our starting balance was 3,000. Have I done that? Have a look. Has it changed it? No. I've obviously undone my formula. Don't worry. I mean, what I can tell you is it's not 3 million. Okay, it goes up, it scales up dramatically. You can't even begin to calculate how much that is with the 10% a month, all right? So let's go back. So there you go, 10% a month on $1,000, that's a millionaire in 6 years. And that, by the way, is not reinvesting anything. You've not put any of it back in, that's just the original 1,000, okay? It can't be that easy. Surely it can't be that easy. Well, it's not that easy. And it's not that easy because actually getting 10% a month is usually beyond people. How do they do it? All they can do is go for some hedge fund or something like that. And the hedge fund will guarantee you maybe something like 4% per year. 6% if you're lucky, really lucky, per year. So getting 10% a month is beyond most people because they don't know how to do it. Can we do it? How do we get 10% per month? Well, remember, once you've got the skill set, no one can take it away from you. Do you fancy learning that skill? If you could get yourself 10% per month on your money, you see what can happen to it. How do you do that? How do you develop a skill set when you don't know anything? How can you learn it? What's the fastest route?
Mentor.
Get a mentor. Get a mentor. Find someone who's done it. Ask them. So that's what I did. Sound.
Financial institutions in the world are tapping into. All the insurance companies, all the banks, you name it. All the investment companies, investment firms, every single one of them is trading in the foreign exchange market. And now we get to tap into it like a normal person. Sometimes I talk to some people and they're like, ooh, I don't know if I want to put my money in foreign exchange. That's kind of risky. Well, you know what? Your money's already in foreign exchange. You know why? Because the banks are taking your money and they're trading in foreign exchange. So your money's already in foreign exchange. You're just not reaping the benefits from it. Your banks are giving you, 0.5% to, if you're lucky, 5% per year, where they're taking that same exact money and they're earning 5 to 10 to 15% to 20% per month on your money in foreign exchange. And now we're able to tap into that same type of rate of return very, very easily. I've been able to tap into those markets for I've been trading my own account now for almost 10 months. I started a demo account. I demoed for a month until I figured some stuff out. And then once I figured some stuff out, I decided to go live. And so I've been live now for almost 10 months. And do you realize that I've profited a little over $160,000 in that time frame? So if you're looking for a way to truly, finally make some legitimate money in a legitimate industry, there's nothing more legitimate than foreign exchange. It's the most legitimate industry and market in the world. It truly is. So if you're looking for something that can truly change your life for once and for all, where you don't have to recruit anybody, you don't have to sell anything to anybody, you don't have to put together marketing campaigns, you don't have to know how to do internet marketing, you don't have to know how to put sales funnels and sales pages together. You don't have to do any of that stuff to be able to tap into and win in foreign exchange.
Okay, this is a chap called Arnold who I looked up and got hold of and asked him to teach me how he'd done this. By the way, he's now gone just over a year. So this was when he was 10 months. He's now at about 13 months, and he's on $210,000 profit in that time. And he started with $1,000. Okay, $1,000 only. So he taught me several things. First of all, how to understand market movements. Okay, how to understand them. And just return to our very, very beginning exercise. When you're all randomly calling out numbers. It's tense, isn't it? You don't know what's going to happen next. Which way are we going? Is it going to crash? Are we going to burn where we bump into each other and start again? And we just don't know. But when someone tells you how to do it, it's like watching the second one where we just went like that, all the way up, easy. Because when they unlock it and turn the key for you and you can see it, suddenly it all makes sense. And you move from randomness to order. So he taught me that. He also showed me how I could get access to some very sophisticated software and trade signals for master traders who are working for the banks. And that's not insider dealing or anything like that, okay? It's not kind of dodgy because we're not dealing in stocks and shares or anything. This is just the foreign exchange market. These are countries trading with each other, all right? There's no secret kind of release of news for some, Apple's about to release the iPhone 10 or something. You don't get that. This is just foreign exchange, but there are bits of software that can help, and I'll tell you about that in a minute. I didn't know how to place a trade. I mean, how do you do that? If you've never done it, you wouldn't know where to start. So he taught me how to do that. Mindset. I've mentioned mindset before. You do need the mindset of a successful trader because the market goes up, the market goes down. And if you're in a trade and it's going up, you need to know when to get out. If you wait too long, you start losing money again. Equally, if you're in a trade and the market starts going down, you can panic. And perhaps you need not to panic. And I'll show you why in a minute. Swing trades, intraday trades. Intraday, short, in, out. Make the money, 10 minutes. Swing trades, several days, maybe a month. Okay, you can just leave it running. Switch off, don't worry about it. Showed me how to do that. And there are some ways where you can actually have some of this done for you totally and make it relatively passive as well, and more. Okay, so I went through some fairly sophisticated training with him because I wanted to build the skill set. Okay, what happens if you've got a skill set? No one can take it away from you. So did it work? This is financial services, so we have to give you this. Okay.
Full risk disclosure, okay? This is a full risk disclosure, a disclaimer, you need to pay attention. Trading contains substantial risk and is not for every investor. An investor could potentially lose all or more than the initial investment. Risk capital is money that can be lost without jeopardizing one's financial security or lifestyle. And only risk capital should be used for trading, and only those with sufficient risk capital should consider trading. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results.
Okay, we have to paint the bleakest picture legally. Okay, it's a standard thing, you have to do that, and if we try and offer you this without giving you that, then we're breaking the law. That's the reason I have to paint that picture for you, okay? But the question I asked before I gave the disclaimer was, did it work, all right? So I'm going to give you some examples. These are some of my kind of results. This is from just a trading period. In one day, 1.37% gain on my account. That's in one day. What do you get from your bank? Nothing. And if you get something, it's about 0.8% per year. 1.3%. Notice this, please. 23 trades I made that day. 82% of them were winners. Yes, you can lose some. What's the most important thing is that you win more than you lose. As long as you know you're winning more than you're losing, you can keep on going, can't you? All right? 1.37% gain. That includes the losses, please note. 1.3% gain on that day. 1.69% on a different one. 14 trades this day, so please note, fewer trades, bigger win overall. It's not always like that, but it can be when you know what you're doing. Look, 6 trades, 74 trades in the week, 420 trades in the month. Oh, look, 30% in a month. You know, I said it's 10% per month, and in 6 years, you're a millionaire? How do you fancy 30% in a month? I could take 2 months off. No risk. Get the idea? When you know what you're doing, you can win. You can lose, but when you know what you're doing, you can win. Don't worry if this confuses you a little bit. I'm just showing you. These are screenshots from my phone because I do it from my phone. Okay? So this is going back a little bit. This is in June. These are the pairs, the currency pairs, all right? And I'll tell you a little bit how it works later. But things like the Australian dollar against the New Zealand dollar, a buy trade. I'm saying it's going to go up, all right? And I made a whopping 63 pence. But please note, by the time you add them all up, look, I lost £2 here. But that kind of offset the 263 that I won here, so it didn't matter. But you can do, remember I was saying 420 trades? When you've got 420 trades in a month like this, they just start racking up and racking up. Now, these are all small. When you get to Arnold, who's just a little bit further down the track, by the way, he's doing exactly the same, no different whatsoever. He's just been in doing it for longer. Same trades for him. Same trades. If I can say to you, for example, that there's a highly likely chance that the value of the dollar is going to go up against the Japanese yen, we think it's probably going to move something like 40 points on the scale. Something like that. Can't be sure, but we think it's going to go something like 40 points up. And I tell you to get 10 and then get out of the trade, so you're nice and secure. With a very small starting balance, those 10-point gain that you make will get you something like £1, £2. But over time, because of compounding, your balance grows. And as your balance grows, you can increase the value of each trade. So simply by the virtue of time, that 10% growth suddenly becomes a much bigger amount of money because your account is growing. Can you see that? So the same 10-point move has now got you £1,750. It got me £1.70. Got him £1,750. And I was showing you just as an example, there's very little risk. Can you afford to lose £2 at the start? Yeah, I think you can. Yeah? We keep our risk very, very secure as well. And you win more than you lose.
So what size bank is Arnold actually running here then?
Now, this is about a 50,000 bank, but he started with one. Okay? These were for a 50,000 bank. But he got there in 4 months. Actually, not doing anything unusual.
Actually, in the Forex market, that's very unusual.
Yeah. No, he wasn't doing anything unusual in terms of to achieve that. I'll explain later. Okay. Right. But can we teach you? Can we teach you? Well, I discussed this idea with Paul, okay, and he said, all right, before we open this to everybody, let's see whether you can teach Dave, okay? Because Dave is a total beginner. He has never heard of Forex, all right? Well, he had, but he's never been involved at all. So can we do it? So I sat down with Dave, and we had about 2 hours, okay? And these are some results from Dave. There's some wins and some losses, as you can see. He's being honest here. The 90 loss, he said actually he just pushed the wrong button. It was supposed to be on that occasion he was going to be selling, and he bought instead. But you can see the way that it works, okay? And he was aiming for $60 a day. That's what he wanted, and he got 73 on that day. Day 3, remember he was aiming for 60. He got 119 on that day, and then he couldn't resist it. He just went in for a little bit more, and this is the same day, just to make it clear, but he added a little bit more. Okay, so he then came up at his 140. And then just to show you, because these are, he's just sort of showing the difference of the lot size. They don't need to understand that at this stage. We teach you all of this. He said he'll sort of go things with smaller lot sizes just to show you that you get different amounts of money depending on the lot size. But he's using exactly the same strategy. Okay? So you can win small or big depending on the lot size that you use, and we would teach you how the lot size relates to the size of bank that you start with, because we want to keep your risk as safe as possible. Obviously, if I try and go for a big risk on a small bank and I lose, I blow the whole thing. Greed is the enemy in Forex. You've got to have the right mindset and say to yourself, slowly. But what happens a few years down the line? You're looking at something like Arnold. And it's not just me and Dave, of course. These are some others. This is David, who's another franchise member who joined us in this trader. Okay, he spent an hour on this. The pips were hailing, he says. Look, rolling down, all of these. Okay, 100% wins he got. I'm saying you're not going to get 100% wins every time. You will lose some, all right? This is more from Dave. Okay, look at these profits. This is 94 on this day, 254 on this day. Pretty good, okay? Some more. These are some other members we've got out in the States. They're using, I don't know what network that is, but 115 on that one. And this is another person from the UK. This is Maria, who joined us at this event last time. Okay, she posted this for me. And again, she got 86 on this day. All right.
Oh, are they pips profit or pounds?
That's pounds or dollars, depending on which currency they're in. Yeah, yeah. So if I could teach you how to place a trade, the kind of basics like that, all right, the simple how to place a trade and how to close out a trade to maximize the chance of that being profitable, because you want to be going for order, not for randomness. This isn't a fruit machine, okay? We're not just hoping for the best. We're aiming to be as secure as we can, all right? If I could teach you how to do that, if I could teach you to lock in the profit that you've got so that any further profit that rolls on, you can't lose. So even if that turns back against you, you haven't lost the profit that you've got. Would that be good? What about if we could automate the majority of that process, where finding the trade to get into and then just placing it is as simple as, you know, a 10-year-old being able to do it? Okay, would that be good? Well, here's the thing, and I'm going to do a little bit of teaching for you here. It's all about candles. Okay, some of you have done a little bit of Forex maybe, so you know a bit about this, and it could be the same in stocks, but I just want to show you this. This is a kind of standard candle chart, and I want to show you this because if this turns you off completely, you would have to grapple with this. It's pretty simple. I just want to show you. You can see this is the movement of the price going up and down. This is the euro against the Japanese yen, and it's moving up and down and up and down. Each of these candles, we call them, is set at 15 minutes, all right? So each one of these is 15 minutes in the market, and it moves on through time. So what have we got here? A couple of hours, really, all right? Moving through several hours. The shape of the candle or the color of the candle tells you whether the market moved up or down. Very simple, okay? So they're filled in, it's gone down. When they're clear, it's moved up. The wick of the candle, above and below it, all right, is the highest point or the lowest point that the market reached. And depending on the direction that it's going, and don't worry if you don't get this now, I'm just sort of throwing it out there for you. Depending on the direction, you know where the entry point of the market was and the exit point during that 15 minutes. So just to give you an example of this one here, it's filled in, so the market went down. So we know that it came in at this point and it finished at this point. However, during that 15 minutes, it was a little bit lower, or a little bit lower, and a little bit higher. You see that? And the same on this one here, for example. It's a going up candle because it's clear. So it came in at this point, it exited at this point in that 15 minutes. But at one point it was slightly higher, and at another point it dipped right down low. If you've no idea about that, when you're in one of these 15 minutes, all you see is the price bouncing up and down. And that's like trying to say 5 and hope that you don't jam with somebody else. You've got no idea. But I now want you to just have a look, a snapshot at this. See those red lines I've got drawn there? I hope you can see that overall the market is going down. Despite going up and down in any 15-minute period, and also, look at this, from here it's gone up, and then it's gone down again, and then it's gone up and down and up and down. But notice that this time when it went up, it didn't reach the height of this bit. And this, when it came up again, it didn't reach the height of this. So overall, the market has trended down. If you were a panicky kind of person and you placed a sell trade, you think the market's going to go down, and you place it here, and it does this, what are you going to do? You're going to think, oh, no, out. Losing money. So you sell here. Bad mistake, because watch. Hold on. Oh, look, we're back down to where we were. Oh, look, up, down, oh, and then eventually, look at that. Nice profit, because the difference between here and here is pretty good. The thing is, how do you know? How do you know which way it's going to go? Can you predict it? How do you know when to get in? If you're looking at this here, how do I know whether it's going to be down here or up here? This is where the genius happens. Human beings buy and sell. Human beings. They also use sophisticated computers to place trades and sell at certain points. The banks do this. Big buys and sells based on algorithms. But that chart pattern there that you can see, it's only a 15-minute chart. We have a 5-minute, a 1-minute, we have an hour, a 4-hour, we have a day, a week, and a month. And we can see the patterns that are forming. And if you've got software that scans all those patterns and says that the likelihood is that when this particular pattern has formed, the market's going to do this, all you need to do is buy here and sell here. You can do it. I've cut this off because I wanted to fit it on the screen. There's a big pattern here. We call it a harmonic pattern. All right, big pattern here. And it's given me a point here. It says around this point, nothing's exact, but around this point, you can enter the trade. So when it's approximately this point, you can enter the trade. It's telling me, protect your account. Place a stop at this point. So if it goes against you, you don't lose your whole account. You lose a small amount. If it goes the way we want, you can take profit here. If you're a bit more aggressive, you can take profit here. If you're really aggressive, you can wait and hope it reaches here. So I just want to show you what happened on this chart. If you place here a sell, which is what it's telling you because the profits are all below it, and you just held on, you'd have seen yourself making a bit of money, and then you thought, oh, no, it looks like it's going against me again. Oh, that's all right, it's coming down. No. See that? The beauty is the mindset says all I need to do is paste the numbers in. I don't need to watch the chart because it's given me numbers. It says place the sell here, place a take profit here, switch it off, put your phone back in your pocket, go and play golf. You look back later in the day, occasionally you say to yourself, oh, it hit my stop. So I lost a small amount of money on this occasion. But if 7 out of 10 times you think, oh, great, I hit my take profit. And we can show you some other sophisticated things that enable you to take half of the profit here and let the rest keep running. And also, when it hits take profit, we can show you how to make this bit here move. So that eventually the stop for when it goes the other way is below the take profit. So when you're down here, if it then turns back against you, you stop out and you claim a double profit. Very clever. And it's all to do with having access to these patterns. This software alone is $5,000 per month because the banks use this. But we can access it. Lubo, another one of our members, okay? Back in start of September, we call that the scanner, that software. He said, all right, I've been following this for 2 weeks now. I've taken some action. For me, and he's being honest here, this is in our little group, the most important thing to learn was to set and forget, not glue to it panicking, all right? Because it can be, your heart goes. So you just learn. I'm following what it says, set, forget. Set up the stop loss, set up the take profit. That's a simple copy, paste, that's it. And then leave it, let it go. Sometimes he's impatient, he says. He closes out the trade early. And that's fine. If you're quite happy with the profit you've made that day, remember Dave? He wanted $60. Once it hits $60, close, leave it. I'm done for the day. Thank you very much. Going fishing. All right? Finish the trade early, that's fine. He followed it for 2 weeks. Here you go. These are different days, all right? So here, 115, 79, 97. There are some losses in here. So the mindset is key. If that's your first ever scanner trade, what do you think? Minus 530, what do you think? You think, oh no, this doesn't work. So if you're a kind of twitchy sort of person, you're going to panic. But actually, overall, look, there are more wins than losses. So can you do it? Is it too complicated? Well, I've been honest with you. I've shown you a couple of things. There is a learning curve. There's a bit of technology. You have to understand about how to set the broker up. You need to understand some of the charts, but we teach you that. We teach you how to maximize the chance of what the scanner predicts being even more accurate. Okay, we're about 70% on the scanner. Okay, you can lose some. You have to learn the mindset to be able to say to yourself, I'm not going to get greedy here. All right. Dave will tell you, now he's come back in, that when he used the scanner early on, he saw one go against him and he closed out. What happened later in the day, Dave? It went back the other way. If he'd only left it alone, he'd have made his take profit. Okay? Trust the scanner, trust that your stop is there. Don't panic. These sorts of things we can teach you, walk you through it. All right? Practice, like all things, makes perfect, and we always advise people, of course, that you can start with a demo account. You don't even need to use real money with this. You can start with a demo account and practice, and when you're confident, you can get going. And remember, you can start with tiny, tiny, tiny lot sizes so that you're winning 40p, 50p, 70p, 30p over and over and over again. And when you think, this works, you increase your lot size and you carry on doing exactly as you were. Nothing different. It's just that now you're making more money. You can also earn while you learn, all right? There is a possibility of having some passive income. You can begin with what's called a totally done-for-you trader. This package does have a master trader who does it all for you. What actually happens is that they are trading their own account and your account just mirrors what they're doing. We don't fully advise this. It is good, okay? We don't fully advise it because they're dealing with a different account size to yours, all right? And therefore, sometimes what they are prepared to let run, you would rather close out. So there is still, although it is passive, there is still a sense where you need to monitor it a little bit. Long term, this is 100,000 times better than a savings account, all right? Because you are going to be making money here. But our advice generally is that you can make more money if you learn the skill set. Because like I said to you many times, once you've got the skill set, what happens? No one can take it away. Right, how do we get all this then? Well, we use a company. This company's been in business now nearly 5 years, actually. They've demonstrated consistent results. They give us access to the scanner, okay, for a membership fee, which I know you've seen. With their limited membership fee, you get some additional training and on top of the training that Dave and I would give, but also you get access to the scanner, which is the crucial bit of wizardry in there, okay, which makes things highly likely. I'm going to deal with some of the questions here. Somebody said last time, can the company run off with my money? No, it can't. They don't see your money, okay? They don't get your money. Your money goes in your own broker. It's just like a bank account. You put it in your own broker account. That's what you trade with. So although you have access to their scanner, they don't get your money, all right? They don't know whether you're using the scanner or not. As long as you've paid the fee to use the scanner, they don't see your money. So that is not an issue. And lastly, okay, shall I make it even better? We like business here. Remember that quadrant I showed you? We like the investing side of things because then your money can grow your money. But we also like business systems. And remember I've said that you could use the income that you get from this just for its own sake to grow your account bigger, a bit like Arnold has done and like I'm doing and Dave is doing and a few others are doing. But you can also take that money and invest into, for example, your e-com system or other systems that we're offering you here. But also the company that provides the scanner happens to pay for referrals, okay? So if you enjoy what you're doing here and you start making some money, do you think other people that you know would be interested in finding out how they could make money from their smartphone like that? I was talking to somebody earlier about the fact that I needed to go out for a meal with the family, okay? So I made 80 quid and went and paid for it. I did it in 10 minutes. It's not always that easy, but it was that occasion. Nice trade set up, there we are. Did the 80 quid, paid for the meal. So if you showed somebody that, they might be interested, okay? Lots of people have heard of Forex, but they know it's a kind of dark mystery and they've perhaps been involved and I've seen a lot of people burn a lot of money. It's because they don't have access to these systems and this training. That's why. Most people, they buy access into a system. It's a fake robot that doesn't do anything, and all that happens is that someone's making a lot of money for getting the commission from the broker. That's it, all right? And then they're left with all these charts. Nobody explained it. No one knows what's going on. That is not what we're doing here. Very, very different. They would want to know more. So this company will pay you to refer others. It's quite simple, actually. If you just get 3 other people, only 3, then you get $150 a month, and that's recurring. So basically, that pays the membership fee anyway, all right? 12, by the way, you still only need your 3, so if they go off and get some as well, then they'll pay you 600, and you could use that 600 to grow your bank faster, which means you can increase your lot size faster, which means you can grow the whole thing faster, all right? And then, of course, 30 will get you 1,000, and if you get something like 500 in your group, they'll give you $10,000 a month recurring, and they actually pay, there are 2 people who are earning $500,000 a month just from the referrals. On top of that, they're trading, okay? It's the easiest thing in the world to recruit for because you're actually showing somebody that you've just made money right there, and they say, show me, and you say, here you go, join this, all right? Do you think we know how to get referrals? Personal sales, this is from the company. Number 1, Paul Lynch. This month is 4th, okay, slipping Paul. But it's quite interesting because all of these people are in our team, all right? That's just for referrals. You can't refer things in good conscience if it's really failing, all right? I certainly don't like doing that. I don't want to introduce people to something that fails. And I put my hand on my heart and say to you openly, you can lose money and you will lose some and you'll see it go down and up like that, all right? It's about the mindset and the calmness and following the rules. If you go into it with a rule mindset in that way, when I hit my $60, I'm out. Get that kind of system going, you'll be consistent, okay? Greed is the enemy. Now remember then, there's no need to refer, all right? That's just a bonus, okay? We're here to talk about the trader rather than the business side of things. It's just a bonus. If you suddenly discover you're doing really, really well with this, I don't think I'll be able to stop you from mentioning it to other people, okay? It's just a bonus. Right, let me recap then really, really briefly, because I can see we're getting to the end of this. So with this, you get that 1 year of mentoring, okay, depending on the sort of package that you take from me and Dave. We help you set up, we talk you through it. We're both there. We do it in a special dedicated group that we've got with live chat and share screen and all those sorts of things that we can help you. We get you set up with the company that give you access to the scanner and additional training in there. We also give you the best broker, which was called the shortest spread, okay, because sometimes you can place a trade that you place it here and it goes in higher up. With ours, the limited spread, which is great, all the support and training that you need. We give you the access to the signals you can copy and paste, all that kind of stuff. Membership area, full support and training. I could have posted all sorts of comments actually where people have said they're really pleased that we've stepped and helped them and talked them through. Dave and I are quite regularly on live chat with people, helping them through getting going so that they can get started. You'll get the software which scans the market for the trades and gives you that 70% plus accuracy rate. We also then teach you how to do other things that make it even more likely to go your way. And if it doesn't, we teach you how to manage the trade so that you don't burn out. Full support on how to maximize from the compensation plan if you choose to go down that route where you start referring people to the company. And finally then, the opportunity to learn the skill that no one can take away from you, where you can make money as long as you've got a smartphone and an internet account, you can do it. Up to 30%, as you saw in 1 month for me, balanced growth, that can then compound. So if you're ready and you want to join us in this and take the opportunity to kind of come and play with this, remember you can start with demo. Paul and Phil, you can talk to them at the end and they'll show you how you can grab your place. Aim for order, not randomness, and then you can win. Thank you very much. Any questions from anyone?
Yeah, just your mentoring program.
Yeah.
You say that's it. How do you get to speak to yourselves once a month or something like that? Or again, you say it's just into
The mentoring program, what happens is that you go into our kind of group area, and the group is divided up into all the different things that you need to do, with all the training videos in each one, and you have live personal chat with me and with Dave, and you can direct message other members as well. So what starts to happen is that the other members who've been there and done that will chip in as well. And everyone helps each other. It's a really, really supportive community. We all help each other. And I'm still being mentored, okay? Which is always the way. Everyone wants to get more advanced. So when new other techniques and things come out, I bring it to the group. I train other people who are slightly further ahead of the people who've only just begun, help out, and everyone grows together. Okay, so there's a really supportive community. So it's not a kind of you can email me once sort of job. We just have a kind of live chat. And I mean, Dave won't know how many people I talk to. I don't know how many people he talks to. Some of it is in the open channels that we've got that we all talk and everyone can help. But there's quite a lot goes on in private chat. So I'm helping people quite regularly. And we get going. So there is a small learning curve at the beginning, but once people are off and running, you've seen that they start posting these things. Yeah.
How long is the learning curve, and do you have a sort of traders room?
A trader's room. You get access actually to the company who provide the scanner. They've got all their master traders have live talking about the markets and things as well. So you often find as well that other people in the group say, oh, I was watching such and such a person on their live chat and he suggested this, and they release it to everybody else who all jumps in and sees what's going on. So we help each other in that way. Sometimes we do a little kind of live trade and show people and talk people through it. In fact, the first one I ever did with Dave, I talked him through his live trade. I was doing it, he did his at the same time, and we kind of worked our way through it. So,
what does it take to learn the process?
Dave, I taught you from scratch. How long do you reckon it took?
2 weeks.
2 weeks of how long in each one? How often do you reckon we?
It weren't long.
A couple of hours probably in each week maybe, but not in one block. You know, it was little 10-minute snatches here and there. And then the first live trade we ever did, I think probably lasted about 8 minutes, in and out.
So what's your trading strategy? Do you tend to go for 15-minute, the hour, the 4 hour?
Combination off the back of the scanner.
So do you have to run the scanner every time you? Okay, how does the scanner option work? Because there's, you know, for some guys in here,
Yeah.
I by the way, I forex trade, so.
Sure. You get alerts from the scanner. Okay, so some of the scanner trades are an hour. They're on the hour chart. Some are on the 4-hour chart. Some are on the day chart, and some are the scalping on the short chart. So you can choose what you want to do and how you want to handle it. So some people have 20 minutes here and there. They just want to jump in and out in the middle of their lunch break and then walk away. Other people will set things up that will last for the whole day, and some people do a combination of both because we're all different and we're all in different stages.
You get an alert from the scanner.
You can get an alert from the scanner, or you can sit and watch the chart. It's entirely up to you. Yeah, there are different ways of doing it.
The alert from the scanner, is that by SMS, email, or can you do it in, what are the options?
There are different options. Some will be if you're logged in on your desktop, you can get an alert from your MT4 if you know about that. That'll ping an alert from there. We have others that give you a different kind of alert in an app, which is an app that comes as part of the package, and they'll give you the whole take profit and everything, and then they talk you through the trade as it goes through the day. So there's a number of people that will do the copy-paste trade directly from the alerts. They never ever looked at the chart once. They just get talked through it. So, you know, an hour later, they'll get another buzz that will say, move your stop loss or something, and they do it in that kind of way. So there are all sorts of variations on that. And if you want a little bit more detail, I can probably do that. Yeah. Yeah.
And just as a rough rule of thumb, what kind of percentage of bank are you trading at any one moment in time?
We try and restrict anyone to 3% on the trade. I mean, I can't say that everybody does that because they're all their own people and they can set their own lot sizes, but we say no more than 3%. But you can do less than that.
Because your strike rate, if you look at it from that perspective, starting off with a $1,000 bank, at a 3%, I'm thinking of Arnold now, I don't know
Yeah.
what his trading strategy is, but 3% of bank per trade, turning $1,000 into $160,000 in 10 months on
awesome.
On a 3% bank risk.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, that program alone is worth more than the 4 programs that Paul's actually offering at the price he's offering it at. There'll be people that are snapping your hand off for that kind of.
Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah. Any other questions? Yeah.
Will the system tell you to place stop loss when you're trading, for example, or
Yeah, yeah.
get a less?
It always tells you to build a stop loss and where to put it. Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Well, you seem to have a lot of trades per day. I mean, an awful lot of trades. Some of them trades, I think, sort of, high 20s, 30s trades per day.
Yeah, but you don't have to. I mean, it's entirely however anybody wants to trade.
I mean, I presume that that's set at the 15-minute chart where you'll get obviously more.
Yeah, and they're tiny in and out in sort of 5 minutes sometimes.
When Dave was aiming for the 60 quid a day, was that on a £1,000 portfolio?
You started on £2,000, I think, didn't you? Yeah. Any other?
Can I just say that I'm just on the 1,000, guys. You know, I started with 1,000, so I just started on that.
Yeah.
Start with anything.
And obviously you're on hand if people start to struggle and that you're on hand to correct them.
Yeah, definitely. We're there to tell people, whatever the particular issues are. I mean, some of them are just sort of tiny technical issues where someone can't get the app on their phone or something, and there are support desks and things for that. We talk you right the way through the whole thing from signing up with the broker to how to place a trade. I mean, that's there. The videos are there, but there's plenty of training and plenty of support. But as I said, the genius in it is the scanner, actually, and what we call the swipe trades, where you've got trades coming from very, very successful master traders who release those. Those are the two genius bits of kit. And then in addition to that, we give you some other stuff to enhance even those further. I don't want to give it all away here because obviously, but that's the way it works.
There's a follow-on cost for the software on maybe a monthly basis.
Yeah, there is a monthly fee and it's $185 a month to access those services. Yeah. But again, when does it kick in? Well, it goes from your first month as soon as you join. But am I right? Are we doing some deal on that? Okay, we'll pay your first 3 months as well. Okay. Thanks very much. Thank you.